Here comes Destiny, strutting through the dust like a rooster with a plan, crowing about how to fix America's revenue problem. Let's start with the lay of the land.
We have to decide what programs we think are important to spend money on. You know what I would do? This is going to be mean, but here's what I think we need to do. One, to get rid of the Trump tax cuts. Nobody needs them. Oh my God. Okay. Number two, you know what we need to do? Even Econo Boy agreed with this. We need to expand the tax net. Okay. Most Americans should be paying some federal income tax, and it's an easy way to collect a ton of money. And you should be bought into this country a little bit more. We need to expand the tax net, meaning middle class and even working class a little bit should pay some federal taxes. Maybe bump up your top rates, I don't know, a couple points. People can pay for it. I think they should probably close the. I don't think you should be able to borrow against assets that you don't have a tax basis in. So no more borrowing against investments with a tax basis of $100. And then triple the budget of the IRS. Okay, and outfit them with the sickest gear in the world. All right, fully automatic pump action shotguns. That's contradictory. I don't give a make them do both. Pump them just to look cool. Jets. I want F-35 IRS pilots. Okay, vertical takeoff and landing on corporate helipads to seize the money that's rightfully ours. All right, and path to citizenship for all the illegals here. Don't waste my money throwing workers out of my country. How retarded is that? You're complaining about Mexico outcompeting us on manufacturing, and you want to throw away all the people who are going to work in their factories back to that country? What kind of are you? Give them a path to citizenship. Find them if you want, I guess. I don't give a make them pay for a green card, or make them pay an extra $1,000 if it makes you feel better about yourself, and put them to work and collect more money from them. Yeah, but we don't want to do any of that because we don't have the appetite or any of that. So.
Now here's where Destiny starts getting a little wild, and I'm sitting here on my porch swing, laughing so hard I nearly fall off. He's talking about classing a loophole that lets rich folks borrow against their investments without paying taxes on M. See, right now, if you've got a stock portfolio worth $1 million but you bought it for $100, you've got a tax basis of $100. You can borrow against that million without selling it, so you don't owe capital gains tax on the $900,000 in gains. It's called buy, borrow, die, and it's how billionaires like Elon Musk live tax-free while the rest of us are paying through the nose. Destiny's saying we ought to shut that down, make M pay taxes on those unrealized gains if they want to borrow against M. And I'm with him. That's a loophole bigger than a barn door, and it's letting the richest folks in the country skate by while the rest of us are sweating in the fields. But I can't help but laugh, 'cause Destiny's acting like this is gonna be a walk in the park. The folks using this loophole are the same ones bankrolling half of Congress. They've got more pull than a tractor at a plowing contest. Trying to close that loophole is gonna be like trying to catch a greased pig at the fair. Messy, loud, and probably a lost cause. But Destiny's just getting warmed up, and this next part's where he goes full-on unhinged, and I'm laughing so hard I'm wheezing like a hound dog after a long hunt. He's saying we need to triple the budget of the IRS and outfit M with the sickest gear in the world. I'm talking fully automatic shotguns, F-35 jets, vertical takeoff and landing on corporate helipads to seize the money that's rightfully ours. Now, I'm a liberal, so I'm all for funding the IRS. They've been understaffed and underfunded for years. Let tax cheats get away with billions. The Treasury Department says every dollar spent on IRS enforcement brings in $5 to $7 in revenue. So tripling their budget from $14 billion to $42 billion could net us over $100 billion a year in unpaid taxes. But Destiny's talking it to a whole nother level, and I can't stop laughing. I'm picturing IRS agents rolling up to Jeff Bezos' mansion in a fighter jet, jumping out with shotguns like they're in a Hollywood action flick, kicking down the door and yelling, "Give us the money, Jeff, or we're talking your yacht." It's absurd, but I love the energy. If we're gonna go after tax cheats, might as well do it with some flair, right? But let's be real. Congress ain't gonna give the IRS that kind of firepower, literal or figurative. They've been starving the agency for years, 'cause the rich folks don't want M snooping around. Destiny's dreaming bigger than a kid at a candy store, but I reckon he's gonna be disappointed. Now let's get to the part where Destiny really gets my liberal heart racing. He's talking about a path to citizenship for undocumented folks. He's sayin' we're wastin' money tryin' to deport 'em, and I'm noddin' so hard my head's 'bout to fall off. There's 11 million undocumented folks in the U.S., according to the Pew Research Center, and they're payin' taxes $11. $7 billion a year in state and local taxes alone, says the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy. They're workin' in factories, pickin' crops, buildin' houses, and keepin' the economy hummin' like a well-tuned tractor. Destiny's pointin' out the absurdity of folks complainin' 'bout Mexico outcompetin' us on manufacturin' while we're tryin' to send workers back there. It's like kickin' the tires off your own truck and then wonderin' why you can't get to town. He's sayin' we should give M a path to citizenship, maybe fine M or charge M for a green card if it makes folks feel better, but get M in the system, let M work, and collect more taxes from M. And I'm with him 100%. As a liberal, I believe in givin' folks a fair shot, and these are folks who have been bustin' their backs for years. Let M stay, let M pay, and let's use that money to fix the schools and roads we're all sharin'. But I can't help but laugh, 'cause Destiny's actin' like this is gonna be an easy sell. Half the country's still screamin' 'bout buildin' a wall, and they're madder than a wet hen at the idea of amnesty. Destiny's got the right idea, but he's gonna need a miracle bigger than a rainstorm in the desert to make it happen. America's got a revenue problem, and it's messier than a barnyard after a flood. The government's spendin' money faster than a gambler at a horse track, and the coffers are drier than a creek bed in July. Destiny's got his eye on this mess, and he's comin' in hot with a plan that's bold, brash, and a little bit unhinged, like a farmer decidin' to plow his field with a monster truck instead of a tractor. He's got ideas that make your grandma clutch her pearls. But I'm a liberal, so I'm all about hearin' him out, even if I'm gonna poke some holes in his plan sharper than a pitchfork through a hay bale. First off, Destiny's got his sights set on the Trump tax cuts. He's sayin' we ought to scrap M faster than you'd toss out a rotten apple, and I'm with him on that, y'all. Those tax cuts were like givin' a millionaire a free steak dinner while the rest of us are eatin' stale cornbread. They slashed rates for the rich folks, droppin' the top individual rate from 39.6% to 37% back in 2017, and gave corporations a big all break, too, cuttin' their rate from 35% to 21%. Meanwhile, the national debt's balloonin' faster than a hog at a feed trough, $7. $8 trillion added to the debt in just 4 years under Trump, according to the Congressional Budget Office. So yeah, Destiny's right to say nobody needs those tax cuts. The wealthy are sittin' pretty while the rest of us are scrappin' by, and I'm all for tellin' the fat cats to pay their fair share. But I can't help but laugh, 'cause Destiny's actin' like gettin' rid of those tax cuts is gonna be as easy as shooing a fly off your porch. Congress is more gridlocked than a mule in molasses, and those rich folks got lobbyists thicker than ticks on a hound dog. Good luck gettin' that done, buddy. Next up, Destiny's talkin' 'bout expandin' the tax net. He's sayin' we need to rope in more folks, middle class, working class, everybody into payin' some federal income tax. Right now, a big chunk of Americans don't pay federal income tax at all. According to the Tax Policy Center, about 44% of households didn't pay any in 2023, mostly 'cause they don't make enough to owe after deductions and credits. Destiny's thinking, well, shoot, if we get more folks pitching in, we'll have more money to fix the roads, fund the schools, and keep the lights on. And I get where he's comin' from. It's like asking everybody at the church potluck to bring a dish instead of letting half the congregation show up empty-handed. But here's where I start laughin' so hard I nearly spill my sweet tea. Destiny's actin' like the middle class and working class are gonna be fine with this, like they're just sittin' around with extra cash burnin' a hole in their pocket. These folks are already stretched thinner than a scarecrow's shadow, workin' 2 jobs, payin' for healthcare and prayin' the car don't break down. And Destiny's over here like, just pay a little more, y'all, it'll make you feel bought into the country, bought in. Boy, they're already bought in. They're paying payroll taxes, sales taxes, property taxes, and every other tax under the sun. You're asking a man who's already drowning to carry a bucket of water uphill. Good luck sellin' that idea without gettin' run out of town on a rail. But Destiny ain't done. He's got another trick up his sleeve, and this one's got some teeth. He's talking 'bout bumping up the top tax rates a couple of points for the high earners. Now I'm a liberal, so I'm clapping my hands like a kid at a county fair when I hear this. The top 1% have been racking in money faster than a fox in a henhouse. According to the Economic Policy Institute, they've captured 60% of all income gains since 1979. Meanwhile, wages for the bottom 90% have been flatter than a pancake on a griddle. So yeah, let's bump up those rates. The current top rate is 37% for folks macking over $609,350 a year. Destiny's saying, let's nudge it up a bit, maybe to 39% or 40%. That could bring in billions, according to estimates from the Joint Committee on Taxation, maybe $200 billion over a decade for every percentage point increase. I'm all for it, but I can't help but chuckle, 'cause Destiny's actin' like the rich folks are just gonna hand over their money with a smile. These are the same people who have got offshore accounts deeper than the Mariana Trench and tax lawyers sharper than a rattlesnake's fangs. You think they're gonna pay up without a fight? You might as well try to herd cats in a thunderstorm.